Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first official episode of the Spirituality with Ashley podcast. I'm so excited to finally be doing this. I've been thinking about it and planning it out for so long, and today I got the nudge and I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm going to do this thing. So thank you for tuning in. I'm so excited for you to be here. I'm excited to be doing this. I'm just excited. I went ahead and I tapped into the Akashic records of the human collective in case there's anything that the keepers of the records think would supplement this episode today. We're going to be talking about different energetic practices for spiritual hygiene to aid in self-care, to help with holistic well-being, for more balance, for more inner peace, and just to overall feel better and feel good in your life. So I've got about 10, I think 11 things. I have a list right here in front of me. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. All right. So the first practice that is highly, highly common, it's always talked about everywhere, is meditation. And one of the reasons that meditation is a really, really great energetic self-care practice is because it helps you to reduce stress. It allows you to be more mindful, and it can really help with promoting emotional well-being, and definitely helps to cultivate this sense of inner peace. If you've ever meditated, whether it was for 3 minutes or 30 minutes or 3 hours, you probably felt a little more calm and peaceful, a little more centered and grounded when you came out of that meditation. It's almost like you're able to kind of shut out all the outside distractions that are happening around you and allow your brain to just slow down and stop processing so much information, because we're always taking in so much information around us, especially if you're a highly sensitive person. You're super sensitive to stimuli and you take in so much information. And I'm guessing that if you are listening to this podcast, you're probably a highly sensitive person. And even if you're not, you're still taking in a ton of information. So also, just to throw in a little asterisk, if you want to know more about highly sensitive people, there's a book about it. You can probably just YouTube or Google The Highly Sensitive Person. There's also a documentary about it on Gaia. So just throwing it out there. It's really interesting. If you are a highly sensitive person, it'll really resonate with you, probably. It did with me at least, and with some other people who I know are highly sensitive. All right, so when I say meditation, I don't mean that you have to just sit cross-legged in the middle of your floor and clear your mind of any thoughts and just have like white space in there. That's not what I mean. You can meditate in so many different ways. Sometimes I meditate when I'm working out and I'm at the gym and I'm just counting. I'm just counting my reps. I'm not really thinking about anything. Sometimes I am, but sometimes I have very meditative workouts where it's like I'm not worried about what's going to happen in the future. I'm not focusing on something that happened in the past. I'm just very much in the present moment, counting one rep after another. You can also meditate while you're walking. You can do walking meditations. Some people find dance very meditative, pottery, painting. There's so many different meditative practices you can do. So please don't feel limited if you are like, oh my gosh, I can't meditate. I don't know how to still or quiet my mind. I'm not somebody who can just think of absolutely nothing. So I really like guided meditations. I like to have some kind of extra something to just help keep me where I'm supposed to be. My mind goes very quickly. I think about a lot of stuff. I usually speak really quickly. I'm really trying to slow it down for the purposes of this, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, I talk a lot and I talk really fast. So some of the things that you can focus on when you're doing a meditation for spiritual, energetic self-care practice is find one for energy healing or chakra balancing. And I say find one because I immediately thought of YouTube. When I started meditating, I definitely used YouTube a lot. I also used Gaia, which is a spiritual platform It's kind of like spiritual Netflix, essentially. I think you can get the first 7 days free. This is not an ad. I'm just saying I love Gaia. So you can get the first 7 days free, I think, and then you have to pay a subscription. But they have some really good meditations on there that I've tried. All right. So I also wanted to mention that meditation works by calming your mind, bringing awareness to the present moment, and helps to balance your mental and emotional energy. So, like I said, it's kind of like think of your thoughts in like a spiral all day. When you meditate, it's like you slow that tornado down and it becomes this peaceful, calm meadow. I actually have some plans to record some guided meditations that I love to do, that I do with my clients in the beginning of Akashic Records readings sometimes. So I think that might be really helpful. And that, I'm pretty sure, wraps up meditation. I've got all of these notes here that I'm looking through as we do this. Okay, so the second spiritual, energetic, self-care practice that can be really beneficial is Reiki, or energy healing. And this is really helpful because it helps to balance your body's energy, it reduces stress, and it promotes relaxation and just overall well-being. There are different ways to do Reiki, and you can go and get Reiki from a certified professional. You can also learn to do Reiki on yourself, and you don't necessarily have to be trained or certified or educated in all the Reiki things. It's really about intention. It's a healing energy that you are channeling from the universe. So if you just set the intention that you're going to heal yourself, and you're going to channel that energy, that life force energy from the universe, channel it through your body to go wherever it needs to go. That is how you start doing Reiki. And I just wanted to add a little anecdote. I'm Reiki master certified. So I took levels 1, 2, and then master. I also took the teacher course, but I did not go through the whole certification process. So I just consider myself Reiki Master certified. But the point of this story is that before I even went to my level 1 Reiki course, I was taking a bath because I was doing readings, and I was working on creating a more consistent spiritual hygiene practice. And I had felt really drained that day. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a crystal bath. I'm going to focus on healing, rejuvenating my energy. And I was sitting in the bath, and I was just paying attention to how my body felt. I was intentionally telling myself to relax, release anything I didn't need, and to allow, I had the crystals in the water, specific ones for the energies that I was kind of shooting for, to rejuvenate. And all of a sudden, my Reiki got activated. I had no idea what was happening. I didn't know it was Reiki. It was so funny because the next day I was sitting in Reiki 1, and toward the end of the workshop, I realized that what happened the night before was exactly what they were explaining. Like, it was only on one side. So in the workshop, I got it in both hands, but in the bathtub the night before, I felt like putting my elbow up on the side of the tub, and then it was like this, my palms felt really warm and a little tingly, and then like this golden orb formed in my palm. And then I put it on my solar plexus, and then I put another one on my heart, and I just sat there with my hands on my body, and like, it was the most amazing thing. It felt so good. I got out of that bath feeling so energized. I was just like, this is my new practice. I'm doing this. And then I was on the crystal bath Reiki train for a while, and I've evolved my spiritual hygiene practices since then, but that's how I started, and it was amazing. So I don't want you to feel like you have to be certified to do Reiki on yourself. You can absolutely intentionally teach yourself or learn how to just activate your own Reiki. So I'm always here to empower you to take your power into your own hands and do your thing, and don't feel limited by these ideas, I guess, that tend to float around sometimes. not to say that you shouldn't go and take a level 1 Reiki course. If you are drawn or you feel pulled to do that, then absolutely do that. But you can also do Reiki on yourself without ever getting certified. We all have that ability and power within us. So, as I mentioned in my little anecdote, you can do Reiki or energy healing with a crystal bath. And I want to add in here that practitioners, so people who are certified and trained to do Reiki, they'll usually channel energy either through their body or directly to the person. So when you're doing Reiki on yourself for this self-care practice, you would invite that life force energy in through the top of your head, your crown chakra, and then you just invite it in to go wherever it is that you need healing. Healing, energizing, balancing. And you just kind of invite in that the highest frequency of white healing light. And you can even say that. All right. And that can really help with imbalances, like chakra imbalances, or just feeling kind of off, or like you're feeling kind of ick, that feeling. It can really help with that. All of these exercises, honestly, can really help with that. That's the whole point of these spiritual, energetic self-care practices. All right. So the third one is grounding exercises. I love grounding exercises. That was one of the first things I started with when I was getting into spirituality. It is so important to ground, especially if you're going to be connecting with your spiritual team, if you're going to be doing readings. It's just so good to ground. We get very distracted. We get very much in our heads sometimes. And when you are doing a lot of spiritual practices, if you are doing readings for people, or you are connecting with your spiritual team and you're in your upper chakras a lot, it's really important to also be in your lower chakras and ground, so you can create this aligned column within your chakra system. So some grounding exercises that you can do are spending time in nature. So you can walk in the grass in bare feet. You can just go sit by a natural body of water. You can even look out the window at nature. You can also spend time with a houseplant. And another way that you can ground is by doing a visualization exercise where you visualize roots that are coming out of your body. I usually do it like wherever my body's in contact with the floor. So let's say I'm sitting cross-legged on the floor on a pillow. I would imagine anywhere my body is in contact with the floor, I would imagine roots sprouting from that spot and going down into the earth and then connecting into the core of the earth. And then allowing that energy, that earth life force energy from Gaia to come back up the roots that I created and back into my body and fill me with healing energy. And I usually visualize that as white or blue energy. You can find some instructions on the internet and they'll say like, do red. But honestly, I feel like you should go with whatever color is resonating with you at that moment. Don't feel like you have to be limited by what the exercise says you're supposed to do. Always pay attention to how you're feeling inside and what's resonating with you. So I want to explain that grounding works by helping you to release excess energy and restore a sense of balance by connecting you with the earth's energy. That's why once you connect into that core, you kind of allow and visualize that energy coming back up the roots or energetic cables, whatever it is that you sent down into the earth, and kind of anchoring you down. That's that grounding energy. And it's very protective, it's fairly balancing, it's very rejuvenating, it can be very healing. It can enhance feelings of stability, reduce anxiety, and connect you with the earth's natural energy. I really, really highly recommend that if you're going to be in your upper chakras a lot. That was something that I got told a lot in the beginning of my, let's call it my journey to being a spiritual entrepreneur. I just wanted to connect so much and be in my crown chakra and activate my third eye. And I was always focusing on those chakras, and it got me a little out of balance because I was spending no time on my lower chakras, which are also very important. Okay, and let's get into this fourth one. The fourth spiritual or energetic practice is breath work. These are deep breathing exercises that oxygenate your body, and they help you to release tension, release stored emotions, help your energy to flow better. And I'm very interested in breath work. I have not done a lot of it. I've only done a little bit, but it always makes me feel so much better. I love it. I know that there are some people who don't particularly care for meditation, and so they do breath work when they're preparing for, to get calm and centered, or to just balance themselves, or before they're going to do a reading for somebody. Breath work can improve your respiratory function. It can reduce anxiety and promote relaxation. And there are so many YouTube videos about breath work. I can't really say much about it because I'm not a breath work expert. I don't do it often enough to really be able to speak about it, but I did want to add it to this list and mention it because I know that it can be so effective and beneficial. I honestly I'm going to get into it more. And I want to mention that when I was looking this up and doing some research to make sure I had enough details to be able to explain these things well and not just my own anecdotal experience, you can look up pranayama techniques for breath work. So if you're interested in breath work, look into that. The fifth spiritual or energetic practice for self-care is crystal healing. I love crystal healing. When I started my spiritual journey, I got super into crystals. And a few years down the road, I learned how to really use them. They help me to center and focus during readings. I use them in my baths for healing and spiritual hygiene, replenishing my energy. I use them for protection around my apartment. You can use them in jewelry and wear them on your person. I even have them around my workspace to help kind of suck up some of the EMFs and protect my energetic field from all of the electromagnetic energy that my computers create. I have some by my TV. I have some by the entrance of my apartment. I've got crystals everywhere. And not everybody's going to be drawn to work with crystals, though. So if you are drawn to work with them, use the ones that you're drawn to. You can also meditate with them. Crystal healing it has energetic properties that can influence your well-being. They can help you balance your chakras and clear energy blockages. One of the things that comes up in readings a lot when I'm doing Akashic Records readings, especially, but also when I'm doing psychic readings, is that you can use crystals of corresponding colors for your chakras. So like if you've got some heart blockages, you can use green aventurine and put it on your heart chakra while you're lying down, and imagine that crystal is sending that green energy and filling up your heart chakra. And that can be really helpful for clearing blockages, allowing stagnant energy to flow better, releasing repressed energy that can be in your chakras and create blockages. And so crystals hold different energies depending on their unique properties. So always look into crystals before you use them. And I could do a whole other episode on using crystals, cleansing them, programming them, taking care of them, interacting with them, creating bonds with them. So I'm not going to get into all that here. But just understand that the energy of crystals interact with your body's energy field, and that's how they kind of promote harmony and balance, and are able to contribute healing energy to your energetic field. So, all right, moving on to number 6, which is energetic cleansing. Energetic cleansing involves a few different things. You can do that by smudging with sage or Palo Santo, or with herbs that are grown in your garden. It's important to make sure that when you're using different herbs for smudging, you're getting them from somewhere that the energy matches your space. And I learned this recently and I thought it was really interesting. So it's important where your Palo Santo comes from or where your sage comes from. So if you can get it from the land that you live on or the area that you live in, it is that much more effective. And so smudging can help you clear stagnant energy. You can smudge yourself. You can smudge your space. I like to smudge my apartment occasionally. I always make sure that a window is open and I'm setting an intention. Sometimes I like to say affirmations, and just it's good to have the window open or windows open so that the stagnant energy has somewhere to flow to, and anything that is not serving your highest good in that space can leave. I want to add that you can also take a salt bath with Epsom salt to cleanse and purify your energetic field. There are a few different practices you can do with Epsom salt. I'm not going to go into them all right now, but definitely look that up if you're feeling drawn to do Epsom salt baths. I'll just get in there and sit in the Epsom salt, and then I rinse off when I'm finished. But there are some people who say that you shouldn't rinse off. So definitely look it up, see what resonates with you, and take it from there. Always check in with yourself and how you're feeling about it and what you feel is right for you. The benefits of energetic cleansing through smudging or crystal baths are that it clears negative energy from your physical and energetic space, and it promotes a sense of renewal. All right, so moving on to number 7, yoga or Tai Chi. So I know more about yoga than I do Tai Chi, but when I was looking this up, Tai Chi was another movement practice that you can do. The benefits of both yoga and Tai Chi are that they improve your flexibility, your balance, they improve energy flow, and they also promote physical and mental well-being. The gentle movements and poses can help you to release tension, and they also stimulate your energy channels and enhance your overall vitality. So I know that there are certain movements and poses in yoga specifically for energy balance. I am not a yoga person. I don't do a lot of yoga. I don't know a lot about it. But if you're drawn to that, I definitely encourage you to look it up. You could probably Google yoga poses for energy balance, or if you're going to a yoga class, you can talk to the teacher about that. But definitely look into that if that's something that you feel drawn to. I could absolutely use some more yoga in my life. I am not super flexible, and I always feel so much better after I do yoga. And I never put together that it was the fact that it helps the energy flow in your body. That makes so much sense. Like, when you get stiff joints, we hold trauma in our bodies. And so if you're feeling stiff in a certain place, it could be because you have some stagnant energy there from some repressed trauma. So I can definitely see how yoga would help with that. The 8th spiritual, energetic self-care practice on my list is affirmations. I love, love, love affirmations. You can create positive affirmations that reinforce this sense of well-being and positive energy. It can also really help you to heal your chakras and ground you. And if you repeat affirmations regularly, it can actually start to help you shift your mindset. So they really also reinforce a sense of self-empowerment. They influence your thoughts, your beliefs, and they also contribute to a more positive and balanced mindset. And there are affirmations for each of your chakras. There are affirmations for everything, but I really like working with the chakra affirmations, like the root chakra. The affirmations for that would start with I am. And when you're doing affirmations, it's a great practice to make sure that your affirmations are starting with the beginning for each of your chakras. So for the root chakra, it's I am. For the sacral chakra, oh man, what is the sacral chakra? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look that up, man. But like the heart chakra would be I feel, and solar plexus is I do. Your throat chakra is I speak. Your third eye chakra is I visualize or I see. And then your crown chakra would be I know. So definitely need to look up sacral because I totally forgot what that was. But make sure you're trying to kind of keep your affirmations balanced, unless you have certain chakras that are particularly blocked. So sometimes when I do readings for people, I will feel the blockages in a specific chakra or a couple of them for the person to focus on. And then in that case, I would recommend doing a lot of affirmation practice for that specific chakra that's highlighted from your spiritual team or where you're feeling the sensations. So I could do a whole other episode on that too. Okay. So moving on to the 9th practice for self-care, it's energetic. Sorry, it's creative expression. So creative expression provides an outlet for emotional expression. It can promote relaxation and it can enhance self-discovery. Creative activities, like, they help you to engage your mind and your body, and they can often allow you to release pent-up energy and emotions. Some people creatively express themselves through art, others through writing or dancing or singing. Anything creative that you can do as an outlet counts. If that's crafting for you, maybe you are a knitter, maybe you like to play with Legos, like whatever your creative outlet is, it is a wonderful self-care practice to help balance your energy. The 10th thing on my list is digital detox. This is so, oh my gosh, it is so impactful when I take a step away from my phone, from the TV, from the computer, and I just spend time with myself. I'll usually use that time like to go out in nature and just not be on my phone or check my phone, leave it in the car and just go and be. It's, oh my gosh, it feels so good. So digital detox includes taking breaks from electronic devices to reduce energetic overwhelm and spending quality time in real-world interactions and doing things that bring you joy. So when you do a digital detox and you either take a break from social media or you completely take a break from digital devices, whether it's for half an hour, one day, or some people have a practice where they'll do it 1 weekend a month, stuff like that. Regardless of how long you do it for, digital detox has benefits like reducing mental fatigue, improving your focus, and supporting your overall well-being. Taking breaks from electronic devices and just electronics can really help to reduce the sensory overload that happens and promote a healthier balance between online and offline experiences. And electronics produce a lot of electromagnetic EMFs, a lot of electromagnetic frequencies that can really impact our energy fields negatively. So there are crystals that you can use to help with that you can wear on your body. Shungite is one of the crystals that I like to wear. I've got little tiny beaded bracelets that I'll use when I'm on the computer a lot. I have selenite, and I have a little mini baby selenite towers, and black. It's a black crystal. I cannot think of the word right now, but it's black. It's not shungite. And I have those sitting by my computers, by my TV. I have them in my bedroom. I keep them by my phone. And I definitely notice a difference when I'm being cognizant of allowing myself to detox from digital, electronic, like all the energy that's around that stuff. So definitely give that a try. The 11th thing on my list that I do want to throw in here is another energetic spiritual self-care practice is checking in with yourself. And you can do that through pulling oracle cards or tarot cards or doing automatic writing, just taking that time to check in with yourself, connect with the non-physical part of yourself, and creating a practice where you do that. And it can be really helpful for relaxation, for overall well-being, for stress reduction and anxiety. It can be a really comforting practice, and it can also be really exciting and fun. And I like to do that. I get into these periods where I will do it every single night or every single morning. I fall off of my practice sometimes, but every time I go back to it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I stopped doing this. It feels so good. And that is another form of self-care because you're checking in with yourself. You are doing something that is for you, that is for your benefit, that makes you feel good, that's helpful for you and your life. And that's what's important when you're considering the best self-care, energetic self-care practices for you. So that is all I had on my list for today. If you guys have one or two or practices that I didn't mention that you love to do for your energetic self-care, I would absolutely love to hear about them. I can always add them in. I think I'm going to write an article about this because I think it's really helpful, and that if more people were aware of the things that they could do for themselves, then I think it's always great to have more tools in your tool belt. So if you have any suggestions, if you have comments about this podcast or episode or anything, if you want to let me know about your experiences, you can always email me. You can also email me questions. The email is support@ashleybrickhouse.com. And please feel free to check out my website if you want to read more articles about spirituality. If you're interested in booking a reading, I do Akashic records readings, I do psychic readings, and I do intuitive readings where I use different tools like a pendulum or tarot cards or oracle cards and runes. Psychic reading would just be channeled information. I will sometimes pull cards depending. And during a psychic reading also, if you have a relative or somebody who's passed, I can sometimes their energy will come in and I can connect with that. So I have different descriptions for each of these readings on the website. But again, if you just want to reach out, share a story, ask a question, start a conversation, please email me at support@ashleybrickhouse.com. And you can find me on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube coming soon. I'm going to start filming these podcast episodes, but today my equipment was just not doing it. All right. Thank you again for tuning in. It was really nice to hang out with you guys, and looking forward to the next episode. Have a great rest of your day or your evening.